In this lesson, I want to show you more about how we can work with CSS, how we can add CSS to our web pages, and a whole lot more. So previously we looked at what we can do with forms, and we saw we can do quite a lot of really neat things with forms. So I'm going to just go back and open up our original index page here. So this is that original web page that we were working with. And we're going to take a closer look at what we were working with styling. So going over to CodePen, which we also had looked at within the course, we saw that CodePen breaks apart our code into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we also saw that if I wanted to, I could connect the form. I could do something like background color, and I could specify a color here and see that it automatically takes effect. So what is happening here? And also, if I want to include some JavaScript, I can do some quick JavaScript there. We see that we get this pop-up window coming, and as it page renders out, we get our JavaScript firing off, we get our CSS. And the way that this is working with CSS, we saw that we can include it within the same page. But we also saw way back within, when we were looking at the original source code, we see we've got a lot of links out to CSS pages. And we can do it, and this is actually the smarter way to bring CSS into your web projects, because this gives you the ability to actually build out a website and link a whole bunch of pages, and then when you update that CSS file, then it updates all of your web pages simultaneously, because all they are is they're connecting and they're getting their CSS or their styling values from that CSS page. So let's show you how that works. So going back into our source code, let's remove out our on-page styling, save that, open up a new file, paste that in, and notice that I'm not adding any HTML files. I'm not opening and closing, or HTML tags opening and closing, because this is going to be a different type of file. It's a CSS file. So let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to call it style CSS, give an extension of CSS, and now this is an actual CSS file. So let's show that sidebar, and now whenever we save our index page, we go back out here, and let's go back out to that index page, refresh it. So all of our styling is gone. We've lost our styling on our page, and that means that we need to hook up and connect to that CSS page. And again, the real nice part about linking out to CSS pages and why it's being done on numbers of web pages is that now if I've got index, if I've got my forum, all of them are linking out to that CSS file. If I update the CSS file, it updates all of those pages, the output of the pages. So you can by all means also include styling, so on-page styling. So if you had specific styling for this specific page, you could add that in. Just as if you had styling for each individual element, you could add it in as an attribute as well. And this is where the order of where you're representing that content comes into play, because if we want to adjust stuff on our web page after the styling is brought in, we put the style after we link out to the style sheet. If we want to do it before, then, which typically isn't done, then we would do it before. So let's set this CSS, and this is a self-closing tag, and we're specifying all of those attributes. So same way that we were doing a linking out, we're using href, linking out to the style sheet. We do rel to specify that this link is a style sheet. That's what we're expecting. Go back out to the page, refresh it, and our styling is back. And now whenever I open up this, I can update the styling, I can update the colors, and we can see that when I update the page, it's actually updated and gets reflected across all of the pages linking to it. So in the next lesson, we're going to show you, and we're going to briefly talk about what JavaScript is and how it can be added into your HTML page. So that's coming up in the next lesson.